Amasya. The dark moon. The day of the dark moon. Okay. So, his 3 major preaching achievements. He wrote 100 books or more, approximately 100, and he discovered the appearance place of Lord Chaitanya, and he introduced preaching innovations. He sent he was the first original book distributor in this Krishna conscious movement. He sent his books to all the universities. 1896 was the year that he sent his book, and coincidentally it was the year that Srila Prabhupada was born. It was the year that Srila Prabhupada appeared. It was the same year that he was sending these books out to all the Western countries. Before that it had never gone to the West. Nobody knew about Lord Chaitanya and these things. And he made 3 predictions which have basically come true. He said, first of all, a person will appear to travel around the world to spread the teachings of Lord Chaitanya. So that is Srila Prabhupada. He appeared, he went all over the world and spread the teachings of Lord Chaitanya to all the countries, as many as possible. And I don't know how many books have been printed by now. It must be at least 10 million total.
Prabhupada's?
Yes.
Oh, no. 500 million or something.
500 million, wow.
All the titles.
I mean,
500 million.
I mean, that's maybe close to a billion.
Maybe a billion, wow,
Yeah.
okay, great.
Last year we crossed the point of 500 million.
500 million books.
But that's the official number, so that's just the ones that have been
Yeah.
recorded. Probably a lot of them.
Yeah, I know when in the 80s, they were printing books in Russian language, which were unofficial. And we got some in India to distribute free to, because in the temple in Juhu, Bombay, we had tour groups coming to see the temple. It was like a tourist attraction, Juhu Temple. And sometimes Russians would come. And I was on the book table, so I had these little pocket Russian Bhagavad Gitas. And how we would distribute, we would say to the Russian people, they all had these little cute buttons. So we said, oh, can you give me your button as a present? And they'd be happy. Oh yeah, you can take my button. Then we said, here, I want to give you a present in return. We give them the Russian Bhagavad Gita. So that's how we did it, because it wasn't allowed in Russia. But yeah, so I'm sure there's a lot of books like that that were distributed that are unofficial. And they printed a few thousand, I think. Anyway, yeah, so Prabhupada, he's expanding it. And there's so many predictions about Prabhupada, even in the Puranas there's predictions. And there's a prediction by Lochan Thakur, who wrote, Chaitanya Mangal. Who wrote Chaitanya Mangal? I can't remember the author just now. But he predicted, you remember Chaitanya? Lochan Das Thakur, I was right. Lochan Das Thakur, he predicted that, there will be a great general, the general of Lord Chaitanya's movement will appear, Srila Prabhupada. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur also predicted he could see the future. And he could also see from his house, he said, he could see the new temple coming up, and now it's coming up. He could see it finished, and the whole city. He could see the whole city and the temple of Mayapur coming up from Godrum. You can see it from across the river, Jalangi River. So he saw that. He could see the future. His second prediction was that very soon the chanting will be spread all over the world, the chanting of Hare Krishna. And he said, oh, when will that day come when people from America, England, France, Germany, Russia will take up kartals and mridangas and chant Hare Krishna in their towns. So these countries, it has already happened. And in many, many more countries it has already happened. America, England, France, Germany, Denmark. Also, it's not on the list, but it's included. We'll take up kartals and mridangas and chant Hare Krishna. So this is the second prediction, and it is coming true. And the third prediction was that when will that day come when the fair-skinned foreigners will come to Mayapur and join with the Bengali Vaishnavas to chant Jai Sachinandan. So that was happening since 1974. But there was on the 100th anniversary of Lord Chaitanya's Appearance Day, 1986, that was 100 years of Lord Chaitanya's appearance. Then this prediction was done in a big way. It was the first time the Russians could come out of Russia. It was 1986. Before that, they were trapped behind the Iron Curtain. So in that year, a group of Russians came, and they joined with Americans and all the others. And they joined 1,000 Bengalis, and they all were chanting Jai Sachinandan. I was there also for that. There was also installation of gopis for Radha Madhava, big gopis. It was in the same year, 1986. So Srila Prabhupada said that we should take it that Bhaktivinoda Thakur was the origin of Krishna consciousness movement in its pure form. Because there were so many impurities contaminating it when he appeared. So he took care of that, and he purified it for us, so we would get the pure thing. So he wrote one thing: he reasons ill who tells that Vaishnavas die, when thou art living still and sound. The Vaishnavas die to live, and living try to spread the holy name around. So Srila Prabhupada also, sometimes somebody outsider will ask, what will happen when you leave this world? And Prabhupada said, I will never die, I will live forever in my books. So this is happening now, that Prabhupada is still living in his books, and Bhaktivinoda Thakur is living in his books, and we are very fortunate to be able to have these books, and to have the deities which Prabhupada, he brought Lord Chaitanya, Gaur Nitai, all over the world, and Radha Krishna as well. He brought Navadvip and Vrindavan because he was carrying it in his heart. And this was coming from his spiritual master, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, from his guru, Gaur Kishore Das Balaji, and from his guru, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. They all were carrying the Dham in their hearts. So it was passed down through succession, and now we have it today. And his disciples are also passing on what Srila Prabhupada gave us. We're trying to pass it as we heard it purely. So this is the celebration for today, the disappearance. Why do we celebrate when somebody dies? Because we say that it's not that he dies, but because the soul never dies. It's only the body that dies. So it's the day that he leaves the vision of this world and he goes to the spiritual world and to live eternally. Of course, he came from the spiritual world also, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and now he went back there. So we celebrate because it's a happy day when you go into the spiritual world and live eternally. It's a very happy day. So that's why we are celebrating today. That this day he went there, and so we can also hope for the same in this life, hopefully, or in some future life. We can join Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Srila Prabhupada, and all of them in the spiritual world, and live there eternally, and dance with Krishna, and eat with Krishna, and play with Krishna, and have fun with Krishna eternally. So we'll stop here. If you have any questions or comments, then we can answer that. Yes.
You mentioned that Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he was the original book distributor.
Yes.
But
oh yeah, okay, I forgot, yeah. He's not the original. In English, okay.
Yeah. I was thinking about the 6 Goswamis.
Yes, 6 Goswamis, yeah. There were 3 who distributed their books. Shamananda, and who were the other 2? Narottam and Srinivas. Narottam, Srinivas, and they were the first. and they were taking the books of the 6 Goswamis to Orissa and Bengal from the Dub. Yeah, so they were the original, but he was the one who first sent it to the foreign countries in English. So he's the first one who did that, to send it to the West,
How we can understand the difference of preaching of the style of preaching of Bhaktivinoda Thakur and then Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati and the other style, and then Prabhupada has another style. How we can understand these different ways?
Well, the best is to understand Prabhupada's style. And then, because that's for us. Prabhupada's, the way he digested it in a way that we can understand. Bhaktivinoda Thakur was writing for the scholarly English people at that time. So if you read his books, it might be difficult, a little difficult. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, his language is like, you need a dictionary to understand what he was saying. And then Srila Prabhupada said he was writing just for me. So it's so funny, I had one friend, Indian friend, and he asked me, can you translate Bhaktisiddhantas into English for me? His commentary on Brahma was his last instructions. He gives some last instructions. It was the same as Brahma Samhita. And there have been like seminars. One was by His Holiness Bhakti Chaitanya Maharaj, where he would translate the commentaries into normal English from Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. But it would be very difficult even if he had a dictionary, because Srila Prabhupada explained that it's not only that he used difficult terms from the dictionary, he had a whole other language that was transcendental and spiritual. So you have to understand that spiritual language in order to understand his writing as well. And Srila Prabhupada said, he wrote just for me actually. Yes?
I was thinking, I think I also asked this question last year, but we see that these great souls, Bhaktisiddhanta and Bhaktivinoda and Srila Prabhupada, they manifest like superhuman qualities, like the way they conduct their lives. And
exactly.
so I was thinking like there's supposed to be a lot of like higher living beings taking birth now in Kali Yuga.
That's right.
In the Krishna consciousness movement, like the Gurukulis.
Yeah, the Gurukulis for sure. They're an example of demigods, most of them.
I'm wondering if like these children, they are manifesting same kind of qualities.
Some of them are demigods, some of them are coming from the spiritual world. Some of them were from past life, they were devotees. Some of them just ate a mouth of prasad in their last life, and they became born in the devotee family. So yeah, you do it. You got the chance. Yeah, there was a past life regression of like 12 Gurukulis in some Eastern European country. 9 out of 12 just ate prasadam in their last life. And they got born in the devotee family. So, and I know another one, he was a lady who got a book in his last life, bought it on book distribution. Someone sold him a book, or her a book, and then he became and he's doing good work now in ISKCON as well. I mean, he's already participated. So yeah, there's different categories of Gurukulis. There are many who are demigods, and they are interested to simply have kirtan and enjoy. So it's hard for us who are very regulated devotees to appreciate, but then we have to appreciate the good qualities that they're very, especially in times of difficulty, you know, they turn to Krishna with their full heart. You can see that. And also they're doing a lot. They're spreading Krishna consciousness now by kirtan in very important places. I think the Omega Theater in New York, a very prestigious place, and all over the world now they're traveling, these Gurukulis, some of them. And yes. So yeah, Prabhupada called them Vaikuntha children. And some of them, we see their chart, they have 7 exalted planets. So these ones are coming from the spiritual world. One young girl, her chart was there, and she was in the Bhakti Shastri class with the adults, and she was like top of the class in writing the essays. And she was 11 years old, and she learned all the verses of 108 verses that she was supposed to learn. And her chart said she came from the spiritual world, and it's like, so some of these children are exceptional. They're coming here just to spread the movement. Some of them are picking up from last life and perfecting this life. And some of them are demigods. You know what they do in the heavenly planets? They just dance and, they have fun. They enjoy. At the same time, they do kirtan. And they drink the soma ras. They have a good time in the heavenly planets. So when they come here, it's kind of hard to, do the sadhana. But I think, at least just let them have children. We need the third generation. They're supposed to be the pure devotees. Let them have children and let them do kirtan, and that's the best. Yes?
The transition of these children in the spiritual world.
Pardon me?
The transition of these children from the spiritual world back into our world. How they described it in a way. The experience is such that the curiosity revolving around it. Have they given a hint of the process that takes place from the spiritual world?
No, they don't. They don't remember. No. Sometimes they get visions or instructions. These children. Okay. I think one of them I know. He said he remembered he was in the spiritual world and he was looking down, and Krishna was telling him, "I want you to go there." And he saw that because there were a lot of devotees fighting with each other. And he said, "I want you to go down there and stop their fighting." That was one I remember. And there was a past life regression of somebody, one of the devotee ladies who's a book distributor in this life. Her last life, she was a monkey in Vrindavan. And the Prabhupada said all the animals in Vrindavan, they will go back to Godhead in this life. They were devotees in their last life who committed an offense in the holy dham, in the holy place. So they have to come back as animals, just one more birth, and then they go back to Godhead. So this one, she was a monkey, and the person was taking her back. And then he said, "So what happened now at the time of death? What happened?" And she said, "Well, I went to Krishna. And Krishna said, I want you to take one more birth in my lila on this earth." So she came to ISKCON. She wasn't born in ISKCON, but she joined, and she became a book distributor. So it's not just the ones who are born, there are other young people who are also in that category. Young people.
I was just thinking of that moment of transition.
Yeah, well, generally you don't remember that, unless you get some special concession or mercy from the Lord. Are you born in a devotee family?
No.
Oh, okay. That's all right.
I don't think so.
But you're still young. That's all right. Unless you make your mother and father devotees, then you are.
It's a request at least.
Yeah.
That's a way to do it.
And you're also born in devotee family. Yeah, yes?
Maybe you can say a little about Thakur's Mataji program. Actually,
Oh,
we talked a
yeah.
little about that this morning. But
You were talking, oh good, I'm glad you mentioned it, because I didn't.
maybe you can talk more about it, because that was also quite
Yeah, there's a book he wrote.
You have it here.
Oh, you have it? Oh, that's amazing. Marketplace of the Holy Name. Is that one, or?
No, Sri Guru Kalpatavi.
Oh, yeah, that one. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
that's
Right. That's the name of it. Yeah, it's amazing. And Nityananda is the...
Yeah, he's the seller of the holy name.
Yeah, he's the seller. And what is the currency to buy the holy name?
It's faith.
Faith, exactly. So that's what we were teaching, that faith is the... Actually, you don't need money to get the holy name, you need faith. Just a little faith. And the more you chant the holy name, then your faith gets stronger and you can get different levels of realization. Like the first level, that you get will be that you will understand how the name of Krishna and the form of Krishna are the same. And then after that you will understand how, say, Rupa, then Guna, qualities. You will see the qualities of Krishna are the same as the name you're chanting. And then you will understand how the pastimes of Krishna. So all these will come while you're chanting Hare Krishna. And so he sent, and I think His Holiness Jayapataka Swami is perhaps following a lot of the rules that Bhaktivinoda Thakur gave for his Namhata. Yes, so he wanted to spread this Krishna consciousness in every house of every person. And so that if you read this Bhakti Vriksha book, I believe, then you'll get some ideas how this was happening. Yes, that's another contribution, very important contribution, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, this Namhata program. Did he actually do it though, or did he just?
Thakur.
Yeah.
He organized something like 50,000 people.
Wow. That's amazing.
That's really.
50,000 people.
Yeah.
Wow.
He had something like 500 groups over Bengal.
500 groups.
And
in Bengal.
And it's kind of estimated maybe 100 connected routes.
Yeah, I think you know more about it than I do.
It's nice to hear from you.
No, actually I don't really know much about it. So
okay.
I'm just confessing. So it's good if you could speak about it more.
That was in one sense the foundation of it, because it created a movement.
Yeah.
Not only wrote books and like a scholar, great devoted. Actually, there was really organized a movement here. So.
Right. Actually, when Prabhupada was here, the emphasis was on living in the temple.
Yeah.
So that's what I know.
Yeah.
I don't know about. We didn't have Namhat. If you were outside, you were in Maya.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
If you were living outside in your own house, you were not a devotee. To join meant you had to leave your house, leave your family, and live in the temple.
Yeah. That's kind of the first days.
The first days. Yeah. And that's what I know. But now, of course, we have this wonderful Namhat. It's spreading to every house. And I'm sure there must be a huge number of people following that.
Today,
God.
I'd say 99% of our movement is consisting of...
You see, it's changed. It's gone the opposite direction.
I saw a figure from... Actually, this was in connection with Radhananda's passing here.
Oh, really?
That, what was his name? Bhaktivinoda Maharaj?
Madhava Govinda.
Former Makanlal.
Who?
Former Makanlal.
Former who?
Makanlal.
Makanlal.
Makanlal,
the brother.
Makanlal.
It's quite Makanlal.
Makanlal. Okay.
Yeah,
now I got it. The picture is in my head.
So,
Makanlal, yes.
But he mentioned that actually ISKCON today has something like between 6 and 7 million members.
Oh yeah, I think I read that.
Yeah.
Wow.
6 and 7.
And
it's all outside.
Yeah.
Yes, so this is how it's in every town and village of the world. The holy name will be spread. Yeah, so it's not just that we're going to do Harinam everywhere, but we're going to have this Nam program everywhere. Yeah, it's an interesting concept. When we heard the prediction, we thought, we'll have to do Harinam to village, town to town. But it's quite a whole different approach, that you train the people to make temples in their homes. And so they sing all the prayers and they make offerings to their deities, and people gather and they have the morning and evening program. Yeah, this is a whole wonderful new concept, that a temple can be, it's much more, Prabhupada spread it to different cities of the world, like, one central temple, and now we're spreading it to different houses within the city, like Vrindavan. This is Vrindavan. Every house has a deities and a temple. They're making Vrindavan everywhere. Or Navadvip, or both. Yeah, it's wonderful. So we can see how Srila Prabhupada has expanded it and his disciples have expanded it all over the world. Yeah. Yeah, so what did Bhaktivinoda Thakur want to be in his, in this program? A sweeper, was it?
Street sweeper.
Street sweeper,
He
yeah.
was a sweeper of the marketplace.
Yeah, he was sweeping too. He was sweeping out all the malpractices and the impurities. He was cleaning up. He was cleaning up all these people. He was a sweeper for sure. So isn't it amazing? In India, it's the lowest class thing you can do is be a sweeper in the street. Untouchable, outcast. And that's what he chose, to be in his preaching movement. Not the manager, not the commander, but the humble sweeper. Interesting. Yes?
I just got curious. You talked about these regressions of like
Oh,
little devoted children. I was just like, because Lalita and I, we were joking about it during the year that I had birthday at one point and then he asked what I wished for and then I said regression therapy. So I was
there's one devotee who's doing it. His name is Jaidev. He's in charge of the mantra choir as well.
I was just wondering, it's like, if it's recommendable, like I could imagine it gives you a good dose of faith.
Not necessarily. Better you consult your guru first and see what he says. It's always good to consult with your guru and devotees. I wouldn't want to do it personally. But yeah, I mean, I don't think it's harmful, but it's not part of our sadhana. If your guru thinks it's okay, then you have to consult. I can't give any recommendation because I haven't done it, so I don't know. I haven't not experienced this, so I can't say if it's good or not. But from what I've seen is he uses it as a therapy for healing people who have certain diseases that they cannot overcome, and so he takes them back to the point which caused the disease some previous life. And that's what he does with it. He uses it as a healing technique. Not you're curious, what was I? Not like that, not like that. But he, like this girl who regressed back, she was having some health problem, and he took her back and she got free from it. No doctors could cure her. And so, Jai, Gauri Nitai ki Jai. Hari Jai.